Yes.
Yeah, are you filming, Timor? Do you want to start?
The link is up. That's the other reason why the other mic could be good.
You just flick it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the same diff though, doesn't it?
Yeah, so how did... I don't know how you did that.
So, we're live. We're streaming now.
So that's in. When you said mix it in...
Yeah, but do you want to do it this way?
I might as well try it.
It's the Elgato HD, just unmute it, and then that's the mixing level, so you can up it a bit maybe. But it's hard to know without.
Okay. It's Jonathan Potts here, commentating this final round robin game between the Victorian boys and the South Australian boys. I think Victoria's going to pull. Teams are just getting finally set. It's Victoria is undefeated coming into this game, so I imagine they're feeling pretty confident about this game, but they definitely want to consolidate their position at the top of the boys' pool. And South Australia has had a couple of wins, I think, and I think they're sitting around fourth in the... That's right, they're sitting third in the draw. So, in fact, I think they've consolidated third in the draw, so they're looking to face New South Wales in the semis. The pool goes up, it's quite a deep pool. It was kind of interesting. It looked like South Australia was expecting a zone off the pool and took a while to adjust to the man defence. And the tight defence really had South Australia in trouble there, and they coughed the disc up. So, see how Victoria's transitional offence goes here. They're pretty happy with that first score of the game. And that was Pat from Wodonga catching the goal. I'm gonna be joined by Dan Rule soon. He'll probably be able to provide a bit more information about the players. But that was pretty clinical from Victoria. You can see why they're top of the draw. Put a lot of pressure on defence. Had South Australia, I guess, in trouble early. Got the disc and then just clinically scored the point. Yeah, let's hope South Australia can pull their offence together a bit better for this point. Oh. We're still dealing with some technical stuff, but we're up. We're streaming. We're at Australian Youth Ultimate Championships, Day 2, the business side of the tournament. Final round robin game for the boys. That's a big forehand pull. That's quite an impressive pull from Victoria. And again, pretty deep into South Australian territory. Looking a lot better, South Australia, at the start of this point. Generating some good cuts. But it's tight. The man-on-man defence is tight from Victoria. That's a nice cut. On the sideline, they're around halfway. Looking to move it off the sideline, I think. They really need to have some deep options generated right now, I think. Yeah. And the pressure inevitably gets the block there. But South Australia was looking a lot better on that offence. So Victoria has a disc with about 15-20 metres to play. And they're being forced down the side. Oh no, they're being forced middle. Those are nice. Ooh. Again, very confident and very clinical from Victoria. But South Australia looked a lot better in that point. So you have to excuse me a little bit because I've basically got the flu, so I've got a bit of sniffling and snorting happening. I'll try to do it off mic. So it's 2-0 and I need to adjust the score. 2-0 to Victoria. And this is going to be a tough game for South Australia. They're going to definitely... every point is going to be difficult for South Australia, I think, based on those first 2 points. You should just... So, be able to add a little bit more colour to this point because Matt Hill is going to join me for this point at least. Matt's been doing a lot of our camera work up till now. So, yeah, that's a deep pull. Sorry, that's where it's stuck up.
Yes, we've got South Australia with the disc. Moved it a couple of passes already. First time South Australia have entered a team at the Australian Youth Ultimate Championships, so this is really exciting that they're here with both a boys and a girls team. Travel called there. Oh. And they've stopped, even though there's no stoppage for travel anymore. But play's underway. Victoria really tight man defense here. Handler's struggling to find an option, and we've got a stall out. But the other players haven't realised, and we actually got a great D, which was irrelevant because there was a stall out already. So that'll make a highlights package, even though it didn't actually happen in the game. So it's come back. I think it's uncontested. They're just working out what to do here, and play's underway. So Victoria are going to pick it up about at the brick mark. Let's see if they set up a pre-planned end zone play. That's Joe from Ballarat, I believe. We've got an upline. Tom from Ballarat. And he's caught it again. So that's Victoria going up 3-0 early in the game. What will South Australia do now to try and counter the defense of Victoria?
This is kind of the point in the game where I would call a timeout and just try to resettle. You've had 3 points against you, and you really need to make something different happen. Think about something different to do. But you know, they've gone back to their line. They're talking about it. I think the other thing I'd look to do in this point is just change the pace of the game. Try a bit of a deep game. Open it up. See what, chance your arm and see if you can make things happen. So, be interesting to see what South Australia does here. Victoria has a big squad. I mean, they've got home ground advantage. They've got a big squad. I think, did someone say 16 players on the roster? You can see that when they're lined up that they've got quite a presence on the field. I think I'm expecting Victoria's going to come down in man and just be aggressive around the disc again. So again, a deepish pull around the brick mark. Get some early movement. Get some cuts. And they did have a deep option there, but didn't really have the position to throw it. And now that's a good position, and it's gone. Here we see. Oh, that was very close to a clean reception, but the D definitely got a bit of it. And okay, there's a little bit of discussion, but it's all okay. It's not. Got to remind myself not to call, not to try and help the defense here. But look, South Australia's putting a bit more pressure on, and they got the block. That was an excellent bit of pressure for 10 seconds there, and they got themselves a block, and they are in a super scoring position. And a nice hammer over the top. Very clean, very accurate, and South Australia gets themselves on the scoreboard. That was great to see. And they looked good on defense there. So, yeah. I think they're going to get a lot of confidence out of that point. And of course I was wrong about calling a timeout. They did fine without a timeout. I mean, this will be interesting. South Australia is starting this point on defence, and they showed some really strong defence for that 2 or 3 passes that Victoria had possession that last point. So if they can get a deep pull and they can get on their man, then we could see Victoria under a little bit of pressure. The pull's up, a deepish pull around the brick mark. Victoria's got a chance to get the disc moving before the defence gets there, and they wanted to put it, but they almost moved the disc too quickly before the deep options were ready. Very quick movement and fast pivoting. And the number 7, who is Anthony O'Hagan, was pretty pivotal in that bit of offense, taking every second pass, getting this moving quickly, pivoting and faking very fast and cleanly. That was pretty hard to shut down.
This is ACT boys first WA.
So it's 4-1 to Victoria. They're back on defence. They're probably looking to reproduce those first 2 points of the game where they really put the pressure on South Australia, contained them early in the point and got an easy goal, a 2-pass to score goal. Again, deep into the South Australian half, and the zone comes. This is what South Australia was expecting to see in the very first point. And now they've got it. Good movement. It's slightly overthrown pass there, and that's not a very pretty pass. And probably got the fate that it deserved. And now South Australia's very smartly looking to move it quickly. That is the tallest guy in the field, though. That's going to be hard. But not a bad option to just try and get the disc down the field quickly before the zone can set. It's a big throw. It's going to be, and he's got it. Oh, so close. That was a great chase down. I think it was Dylan Lai. Okay. Oh, nicely caught. Nice communication there. Oh my God, I think he's tipped it on to score. That was not going to be received without that tip on. That wasn't going to be a completion, but the big man, 31, is Patrick Graham. And he leapt there to to attempt to intercept or knock that disc about 10 feet in the air. Got his fingers onto it, but unfortunately didn't send the disc to ground. But we tipped it on, gave it a bit of extra legs, and allowed the South Australian receiver to chase it down in the end zone. So he's going to be a bit disappointed in that one, I think. But man, that was a big jump. That was exciting. It's a good showing from South Australia. They, I think they found their straps a little bit. They've worked out that they've got to take some chances out there if they're going to have a showing against Victoria. If they play a short game or they play a conservative game, then the pressure from Victoria is going to generate a block eventually. So they need to open up the game. We've seen a hammer. We've seen a couple of hucks. I think they've got the right kind of response to this Victorian defence. I was going to say as well, I saw a tiny bit of Victoria playing yesterday, and they played a lot of zone. So that explains why in the first point South Australia was expecting a zone, and why Victoria has finally sent down a zone. There you go. The pull comes up from South Australia again, deep into the half. That's Anthony O'Hagan again. Remember how pivotal he was a couple of points ago, taking every second pass, but they're opening up the game a bit now. He does want the disc though. Moving the disc quickly and effectively up and across the field. There we go. Anthony O'Hagan gets the disc, dishes it off, and the shot into the end zone. Not quite, just on the edge of the end zone, and now the goal. Victoria's pretty excited about that, so they should be. That was some excellent offense. But the South Australian defence made them throw a lot of passes, so they they can take some heart from that. So it's a bit of a chilly morning in Melbourne. I think overnight low was something like 6 degrees. So yeah, we got here a little bit frostbitten on our fingers, but the sun's out there somewhere behind those clouds. It'll probably break out later today. I think we're expecting at least clear weather today, or no rain today, and great conditions for frisbee. Once the field warms up, once the air warms up a bit, it's going to be great conditions for good ultimate. So Victoria on defence again. It'll be interesting to see if they come out with their zone. The zone, although scored against, was putting a fair amount of pressure on South Australia. So yeah, we could well see them coming down in zoning. There's definitely 3 chasers going very fast, so I'm expecting a zone. Look at that. don't see that sort of eagerness from some of the top men's teams in Australia. They got down there very fast as a pack. It was great to see. And they got the block. So they're about 10 metres shy of the end zone right now. It's Tom Boyle, who's the captain, with the frisbee. Nicely thrown hammer across field for the score. And South Australia's calling a timeout. So they just, I think they want to rally before half. Just get things together before half. So a timeout from South Australia. They'll just take this opportunity to maximise their chances of getting this next point.
Timo. Battery's out, Timo. The battery will be out in a minute. It's not charging.
Follow the Can you check the cord on your right?
Yeah, it's in.
Is it on or not?
It's just flashing 000. It says cut full now. It says in red, flashing R0.
So yeah, we're still dealing with a couple of technical things, but so we'll get more continuous commentary in the later games. But the timeout's ended. South Australia's on the line. Victoria again is occupying the field for quite a long time between points. So I think okay, they're ready to go. Look, and something interesting is we've seen a forehand pull from Victoria, they've got the skill. You know, they've definitely got some good throwing skills, but we're yet to see a pull get to the end zone. So I'm interested to see if they can actually find the player in their team that can put a floaty pull deep into the end zone, because I think they've got the skill set to do it. They just need to execute it. So the pull is just near the front of the end zone. South Australia gets the disc moving. They're stacking fairly deep. They don't have a lot of downfield options. The handlers are working it well. On the sideline. Quite a strung out stack right now. Oh. Big layout block. That was fabulous. The receiver just stopped to receive the disc, and number 19, who is Patrick Jelinek, just laid out big through that, and there we go. That was a turnover from Victoria. Yeah, Patrick Jelinek just didn't hesitate, made a huge layout block through that. Now South Australia has a disc back. There's some sort of call and stoppage. Possibly a pick. Okay, so South Australia, they're tending to strand their handlers a little bit, so, but they also have this, they've discovered the huck, and if they can read that, I don't know, that was, it's being contested whether that was up. He had it in the breadbasket, but whether he had control or not is what they're discussing. He's tacoed the disc as well, so I think they're going to need a new disc regardless of what happens, what the outcome of this is. Okay, so Victoria's given them the disc, not given them the disc, but agreed that it was a clean catch. Then now, and then it's a goal. Towed the line on the end zone and kept the disc in the end zone. So South Australia will be happy with that. So again, South Australia rallied well there. They took their chances. It wasn't the prettiest huck, but they swarmed, they dived. It was a great dive, catching the frisbee on his chest, hitting the ground hard. But it paid off. Try to give more of the names of the South Australian players this point, I think. So South Australia are on D. I've seen some good defense from South Australia in this game, and key to this really is getting the disc deep in the Victorian half, getting down there quickly and getting the pressure on. Because I think, as we've seen, Victoria can move the disc quickly. They've got some key pivotal handlers that love to get the disc moving. So if they can stop that flow and just start to grow a bit of pressure, they could they could force a block here. Okay, the pool's about to go up. There's a bit of a roll on. Oh, and it's a mistake from Victoria that's given South Australia the disc 20 metres out from their end zone. That was a big throw. He's just outside the end zone. It was a great catch under pressure. The question is, can he throw it in the end zone? Oh, just overthrown. That was difficult. He didn't have a lot of options. Didn't have any easy reset. Pretty much had to get that into the end zone, but it was just slightly overthrown. That's a shame. That was a massive grab under pressure there in a crucial point. So South Australia has the advantage here of some stopped offense. And they do want to work the disc, Victoria. Ooh, interesting. Lots of passes, lots of fast passes from Victoria. Oh, that is a great block by Hayden Oliver. And unfortunately, a slightly overthrown pass again in the end zone. That was a great diving through block. Number 19, Hayden Oliver. Okay, again, I suspect Victoria might look to put it this time. They've struggled a little bit against the South Australia. Oh, look at that. Turnover on the first pass. This is their third chance within reach of the end zone. They really need to complete this. That's not the pass. And they may well send it here. Okay, no. Oh, they're lucky to get away with that one, I think. And they've scored. The handlers really demand the disc a lot from Victoria. They really want to, when they give the disc away, they want it back as quickly as possible. It's a aggressive, dynamic style of ultimate. I mean, I think, we've seen a couple of errors because it's very frenetic, I suppose. But it can be very pretty when it's done well. And that's half time. South Australia will be disappointed. They had 3 chances there just outside the end zone and they couldn't complete it. But I'm sure in their huddle at half time they're going to be they've got a lot to work on, also a lot to build on, I guess, for the second half. They showed some great competitiveness in the first half against what so far has shown to be the team of the tournament in the boys division. So it's half time now. It's a shortish 5-minute half time. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks.
Let's go, Vic!
Tim.
Mike said about the stuff on Facebook. He said watching the screen. And he said we can collapse in front of it and work out the timing.
I mean, I'm really worried that there's this like someone has a
Can you take a photo of everyone's here? We could stay here with Dan. If you go out in the field.
I was just worried that they're about the South Show's ready.
So go onto the field.
And we're back. Back from after half time. South Australia starting on defence. Victoria on offence. It's 7-3 to Victoria. And I think if you recall the end of that that first half, South Australia had the chance to turn it into a 6-4 game, which would have been phenomenal. They just unfortunately couldn't convert any of their 3 possessions just outside the end zone. They got a layout block. They took a big grab in a pack. They've definitely got the skills to put a lot more pressure on Victoria. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the blocks in this second half. Victorian offense has shown that they love to work it around with the handlers. So that pull is around the brick mark. The defense is on before they can get a pass off. And there's a little bit of pressure here. And they've sent it into space, the big guy, who is Patrick Graham, number 31. Just saw a bit of space out there on the weak side of the field, sent the disc out there, and the receivers chased it down. So that was a little bit different offense from Victoria. They didn't look to just keep working with the handlers, but once they got a look deep, they used it. Possibly something that Coach Hoivu might have talked to them about in the halftime break, about not focusing so much on the give and goes and the short handler work, but once you've got the disc moving, to look a bit more deep. And Victoria, although they're not not absolutely dominating this game. They're no doubt thinking about semis and finals and how the style of game they want to be playing. They're guaranteed of going through into semi-finals in number 1 position. They want to consolidate that through semis and finals, no doubt. But I think something that their opponents in semis and finals can take out of this game is that, you know, they're not unbeatable. So it's going to be an exciting afternoon, I think, in the boys division. South Australia receiving. Again, we're yet to see the pull go into the end zone. That's as close as we've seen, just on the edge of the end zone. Defense hasn't run down as fast as they do in those zone points, but they have got the pressure on now. The handler points to where he wants someone to cut, and he gets a cut there eventually. Working the disc well amongst the handlers. Looking for the deep put. Someone cut. Execution wasn't there. And Victoria gets the block. I feel like they probably need to get on the backhand side for those puts. There's been a couple that have come out like that. There was a receiver running deep well there. Had a good lead deep. Oh, it's just, that was almost a high backhand huck. Slightly overexcited there, and unfortunately threw the turn in going for the quick goal. So South Australia gets it back on their end zone line, and it was Hayden Oliver with the disc. He's got it off. Oh, nice big grab there, big high grab there by Blake Nichols. On the mark is Nick Evranidis. Oh, there was a foul on the throw, so it's going back. So that great block never happened. So it's a Tyson Russell with the disc. He's not getting much. He's not getting what he wants, but he's got it off now. It's back to Hayden Oliver. Around the centre of the field, around the brick mark. So they're moving the disc around well and not getting forward progression just yet. It was a big inside out pass that just wasn't quite there. It was a tough pass to get off. And they've turned it over. Victoria has maybe 20 metres. And nicely jumped into the end zone. We've actually seen that a few times from the Victorians. They're very. That was Alex Chapman catching the goal there. Seen that a few times from the Victorians. They like when they get near the end zone, they like to just jump the disc in. Very aware. Don't forget, if you're out there in Facebook land or internet world, share the live stream on your social networks. Get your Frisbee friends watching, especially as the day progresses and the games get a bit more exciting and meaningful. Be great to get a big viewership out there, and especially as we get all of our technical details under control. The quality of the streams are going to improve, I'm sure. So, hopefully it's quite enjoyable checking this out. I'm enjoying commentating these games. It's there's a lot of quality Frisbee out there, and it's good to see the young talent of Australia out there playing excellent Frisbee and enjoying themselves. So South Australia had a few possessions that last point, but they didn't really manage to effectively get it out of their half. I'd say their stack tends to string out a little bit, not really providing them with clean deep options. So they're kind of getting a bit stuck with looking for the undercuts all the time. They when they do get out, when they do break out, I'm thinking they probably need to get it onto their backhand side and put a nice big huck out in front of their receivers. Let's see what they come out with in this half, in this point. It's a nice deep pull, again almost to their end zone. The defense is down there. Oh, that's good movement. They've showing me that they can huck forehand, and that was a fantastic play. That was textbook play from South Australia. Got the disc moving, got it out to someone on the sideline in a strong position, and sent the huck out in front, floating nicely, and the receiver pulled it down in the air. That was fantastic. Sorry, I was so excited talking about the catch that I didn't see who through and receive that.
21.
We'll sort that out when I've got a co-commentator. Bailey McCarthy, number 21, caught that goal. You obviously need quite a bit of at least someone on the how good is it throwing something up?
We just have to save everything and then just put
You could try. No reason not to be ambitious. All right. South Australia on defense again. They've shown they can play really strong defense. They've shown they can find a few chinks in the Victorian armour. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Now remember, Victoria loves to move it with the handlers. And I'm going to say especially Anthony O'Hagan. Is he out there on this point? When he gives the disc away, he wants it back. So we'll see how much he dominates play in this point. Ooh, it's gone out. Are they going to take the brick? I think they are. No, that was confusing, but they played it from the sideline. Anthony O'Hagan has a disc. Doesn't have a lot of options, but they get out of it. And they've got the disc moving forward to halfway. Looking to handlers again. Oh. Kind of took his eyes off the disc there. It was in his hands. And South Australia, the defense is in a little bit of... Yeah, they're playing a zone. Oh, and they've got the block. Wow. I would say that the zone wasn't really set there, but they did get the block just through all of that confusion. And yes, easy score. And Anthony O'Hagan takes the goal down. I think Victoria has identified the zone as a pretty effective way of controlling the defense. It's 5 minutes of time cap. 10-4 Victoria over South Australia. Sorry. And South Australia's taken another timeout. I think that's good time. It's a good time to take a timeout. Like they need to get back in the game. If they're gonna have a chance of winning this, it needs to start happening now. And like, to be frank, it's possible for them to come back in this game. But they need to open up their game, and they need to have mistake-free ultimate, really, to get back in this game. But they've got the talent to do it. And once you go on a run, psychology can kind of take over. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's by far the most shares we've had. So maybe just need to make sure that we put. Yeah, right. And that's the thing to do is just to hit the team up, because you have to. Another reason to try and get the names in there, but it is hard when it's just one person commentating to call the play and read them.
Okay, timeout is over. I'm going to say it'll be interesting to see here whether Victoria takes it out on the field and then has a second timeout on the line. But I'm going to call it early and say that they are going to now spend 2 minutes calling their line. They're certainly in no rush. Coach Hoy. So we had a bit of lost some internet connectivity there, but gather we're back on now, so that's good. So while you were gone, Victoria scored another. Yeah, so it's sorry. Yeah. We get just discussing whether the scoreboard on the other side of the field is right or whether our online scoreboard is right, but we think it's 11-5 to Victoria. So South Australia, that was a sharp throw. It was difficult to reel in, and so Victoria now has it 5 metres from the end zone. Time cap has fallen, and Victoria has a chance to win the game here with this possession. Called not in. They've got another half a metre, and they're in. Pretty sure that's game. A slight injury, perhaps. And that's game. So Victoria takes that out. We believe 12-5. Sorry, Victoria takes that out 12-5 over South Australia. Just okay.
I'm just going to view it. Here we go. The view thing on the left, the eye.
Oh, the eye. And that's the end of our live. Will be at the end of our live stream soon when we shut it off. But the next game is in maybe 15 minutes. We'll start a new live stream for that, and it's the girls' semi, second versus third, which I believe is New South Wales versus. Oh, sorry, is ACT versus WA. That's right. Yeah, ACT versus WA in the 2v3 semi. They're competing to see who will play New South Wales, who have looked very dominant in the girls' division so far this tournament. ACT and WA competing to see who will play New South Wales in the final. We'll start that in about 10 minutes' time. Okay. So.
It went bad again.